If you've been grieving and your body feels different, if you're anxious, exhausted, foggy, numb, sick, or just not yourself, I want you to know something very important before I begin this episode, and that is nothing is wrong with you. At least not in the way that you may have been led to believe. Grief doesn't just live in your heart. It lives in your brain, your nervous system, your hormones, your muscles, your digestive system, your entire body. Today, I want to talk and walk you through what's actually happening inside of you, step by step, so that you can understand why grief feels the way that it does and why it can last longer than people expect. Before I continue, I just want to be clear this is purely educational. If you are in a crisis, if you are spiraling, please seek medical or professional help. There are many resources available. I am not a physician, I am not a therapist or a psychologist. I am a mom who lost her son little over 9 years ago now. For the past 10 years, I have educated myself on grief. I've become a facilitator, an orator, a public speaker, whatever label you want to use. This is my perspective, informed by my lived experience and my background in science. I'm just trying to combine what I've learned academically with what I've lived personally to help anyone trying to understand grief and bereavement. This does not only apply to grief, and that's why I enjoy this subject so much. These mechanisms that I'm going to talk to you about apply to everyday life and stress. So if you can wrap your mind around this, learn a technique to help you, it won't only help you in the greatest loss of your life, it's going to help you in everyday life with everyday things. If you can walk away understanding even part of this episode, then I've accomplished my goal. Grief is not just an emotion. Let's begin there. Grief is not just an emotion. It is a biological stress response to loss, especially the loss of a physical being, someone or something that we were deeply attached to. Attachment is how the brain keeps us safe. So when an attachment is broken, the brain doesn't just feel sad, it reacts as if something essential for your survival is missing. Your brain interprets this loss as a threat to your physical being. Something in your environment, in the outside world, is threatening you. That response begins in the brain and it travels through your entire nervous system. We are going to start with your amygdala. That is your brain's alarm center. It is a small structure deep in the brain whose job is to detect danger. In grief, the amygdala can become more sensitive, not because you're weak, but because your brain has registered that loss as a threat to your safety. two modes. It has a survival mode and it has a rest and repair mode. In grief, many people can get stuck in survival mode, you guessed it. Even when you're completely exhausted, you can still be in survival mode. And this can look like a racing heart, muscle tension, trouble sleeping, irritability, or feeling constantly on edge. Now let's get into your vagus nerve. That is the communication highway between your brain and your body. It connects your brain to your heart, to your lungs, and your gut. So you can imagine what is going to be affected. So this is why grief can show up as stomach issues, chest tightness, shortness of breath, appetite changes, or you can just feel physically unwell. You're not imagining anything if you're at this point and you're like, wow, this makes sense. Yeah, you're not imagining anything. It's your brain and your body communicating. This also involves your HPA axis. That is your hypothalamus, pituitary, and adrenal glands, okay? Pituitary gland and your adrenal gland. And that is the body's main stress pathway. Your hypothalamus will detect a stress and then it sends a signal to the pituitary gland. Now, the pituitary is going to relay that message, and the adrenal glands will release cortisol as a response. Cortisol is your stress hormone. Cortisol will help you wake up, it helps you respond to danger, and survive hard moments. But, as we all know, grief isn't a short event, it's ongoing. When cortisol stays high or becomes irregular, people can feel exhausted, but you're unable to rest. You can be emotionally reactive or emotionally numb. Wired at night, but drained during the day, or just more sensitive to pain and illness. Now, your brain is very plastic. It adapts to repeated states. So when grief lasts a long time, the nervous system can learn survival as its default. This affects emotional regulation, your sleep, memory, your immune system, digestion, and your pain perception. And this doesn't mean that grief is wrong. I'm just trying to say that your body hasn't received enough signals of safety to reset itself. And this is the part that is important. Your nervous system is not broken. It is still learning, and learning can help you change. When people tell you to just breathe, it can feel very dismissive. But in reality, slow, extended breathing physically signals your brainstem and your vagus nerve that the threat has passed. You're not trying to erase grief. That's not possible. You're just anchoring yourself through it. That's all you're trying to do. If you feel restless or frozen, that's because stress prepares your body for action. And grief doesn't come with a clear action. So a gentle movement, such as walking, stretching, swaying, will help complete a stress cycle that never finished. For me personally, exercise has been a lifeline. Lifting, feeling strong, building muscle, it's just helped me physically and emotionally. The movement itself, no matter what movement you choose, will tell your nervous system that you survived. Now, because grief is an attachment injury, as I discussed in the beginning, healing doesn't happen in isolation. You need connection. You need to sit with someone who doesn't try to fix you. Someone who is going to listen to you without judgment. I included my best friend here because she has been with me for a very long time, over 15 years, and she has seen me at my absolute worst. Anxiety attacks, tears, happy moments, goofy moments, and the new me after I lost my son. So, sitting with your best friend is a perfect example of a technique that you can easily use for support and healing. Warmth matters too. Feeling sunlight on your skin, holding a mug with some hot tea or hot coffee in it, a warm shower, a blanket, just sitting outside on the grass. Feel the grass between your fingertips, feel the sun on your skin. It will ground you. It tells your body that you are here. These are not small comforts. They help your regulation. They tell your brain, I am alive, I am here. And last, but definitely not least, supportive therapy will not erase your grief, but it's going to help your brain place loss in a time so that it can be remembered without being relived. That isn't a weakness. Again, this is all just biology, and your body is working exactly the way that it's supposed to. I want to close with a line from Lord of the Rings. Sorry for people who get annoyed by this, but I love Lord of the Rings, and it captures grief perfectly. This is Frodo Baggins at the very end of Lord of the Rings, and he is trying to grapple with the fact that he will never be the same person after this journey of his. And he says, how do you pick up the threads of an old life? How do you go on when in your heart you begin to understand there is no going back? There are some things that time cannot mend. Some hurts that go too deep, that have taken hold. In summary, grief doesn't mean that you're lost. It means that you love something worth mourning. Your nervous system may feel changed, but you are still capable of healing. You are still capable of learning how to feel safe again. Grief changes the nervous system because love changed it first. Your exhaustion, your tears, your reactions, they are not a weakness. They are signs of attachment, meaning, and a life that mattered. In the next video, I want to explore what comes after. How does grief reshape our expectations, our understanding of happiness, and why joy can feel different after loss? Thank you so much for listening. You are more than welcome to leave comments, ask questions, post in our community. Anything that feels right for you, please do it. Reach out. Thank you for listening. I will be posting every Wednesday.